Welcome to Doral Real Estate Talks, where people come for the information and they stay for the community. Today, guys, I'm having a little rant, and I'm coming as a veteran, right? You see me, I have my Army shirt, and I have my warrant officer 100-year anniversary because I'm a little upset. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get right into what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you about me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of veterans feel the same way. When you retire from the military, right, after serving 20, 22, 25, whatever many years, some people, that's their identity, right? Or some people just want to feel like they want to start a brand new career, a brand new life, totally separated from the military. And in my case, when I became a real estate agent, that was my intentions. Okay, so I kind of wanted to just be a civilian and try to live my life as a civilian and not have so much of the identity of the military. However, there's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to feel like I could do something else. If you don't know, I joined when I was 19 and I did 22 years. So by the time I finished my service, I have already done more than twice, right? I did 22, and when I joined the Army, I was 19. So my whole adult life, I was in the military. The reason I'm telling you this is because my intention as a real estate agent was just to help people buy and people sell. And initially was because I want to be an investor. I don't want it to be in the real estate arena so that I can do my own transactions. But when I came to Miami, to South Florida, and I started trying to purchase my own property, I saw some things that really bothered me. I don't know if this happened to you, but it happened to me and my husband. So what I noticed was that people discriminate against the VA loan. They don't say it. It's kind of hard to put a finger on it, but they do. And there's something in the regulations for the real estate agents that's called steering, right? Because you as a professional, you have a lot of influence over your clients' opinion. Your professional opinion weighs a lot on when a client is going to make a decision. Specifically, if you are a seller's agent representing the sellers to sell the property. So when we present VA loans offers, sometimes, I'm not going to say that this is every agent. I don't know if they do it on consciously or unconsciously, they sway the client away or steer them away of actually accepting that loan in the premise that this loan is harder to close. It takes harder to close, longer to close, that they're going to have to pay all kinds of fees, which it's not 100% accurate, okay? And this is what this podcast is about today because it bothers me. So I know that most of you are in social, Facebook groups. And one of the groups that I'm in is in one of the real estate groups out of many that I am. One of them posted, what is one myth that you wish people didn't have about real estate or real estate related? And obviously people put a little different posts that we're not HGTV, all of this other stuff. This is usually more of a comedy, humorous site. Someone said that the BVA loan is a hard loan to close, which I agree. But obviously that generated a lot of comments, and this is what I want to touch bases about. So let me share my screen so that I can tell you exactly what I'm referring to, because it touched my nerves. And everything I said in the past was the reason I helped the military veterans in South Florida. It's because I felt it was my duty to help us and help the agents understand that they have flawed information or they have myths. And this agent, I'm not even too upset at this agent. What happened is, this is only one person that did this, but many people do it. Okay, so the reason that I represent the military, or that I decided this is going to be my specialty, is because I felt the need that we have to have representation in this field in order to help the veterans. I mean, me being one of them. So here is the comment. To all the vets out there, thank you for your service. First of all, please don't start off like that to then tell us that you don't want to do something with us or for us. When somebody start off with, to all the vets, thank you for your service, to me, that's a slap on the face. Just save it and say whatever it is that you're going to have to say. Say that portion because it bothered me. I'm sorry. It might just be me. The VA is hurting you significantly while the VA provides a loan with a better interest. So they're acknowledging that it's a better interest and it's good for the agent, for the client. Okay, right here. And more favorable terms for you. Yes, better for the clients. They don't allow you to pay a flat commission fees, termite inspections. Okay, flat commission fees. The VA does not allow you to pay any commissions. Flat commissions or any commissions or brokerages fees. That's it. But they don't allow you to pay brokerage fee. You know how some brokerages ask you to pay $450, $500 for brokerage fee? If they've done this to you, it's illegal, okay? You can point this out. Maybe they don't know, okay? So you can educate them. So this is not something new, but most of the time, up to this point, agents don't pay the commissions. I mean, not agents, buyers don't pay the commission. Would things change in the future? Probably. Would the VA change with it? Probably. Because up to now, most buyers don't pay for commission fees. That's the truth. Okay, so that's one. Then the termite inspections. Yes, at one point, the seller had to pay for termite inspection, but that has been changed. Now, as a buyer, you are able to pay for your termite inspections in most states. And by the way, this inspection is no more than a couple of $100. And what the VA is trying to do is a health issue. Plus, they want to make sure that you have a sound property when you purchase one. Okay, so what's the next one? And now with the new court case out west, they don't allow you to pay any additional commission to the buyer's agent. Okay, right now, this is something up in the air. There's a few filings going on in courts against paying buyer's agents commissions, and that I'm not going to get into right now. But this is something new that has nothing to do with the VA. The VA cannot address something that hasn't been settled. I am pretty sure that once this is settled, they will be able to come up with something. Not just the VA loan program, but lenders are going to have to readjust because this is not just the VA. It will affect USDA. It's going to affect FHA. This is the government. These are government loan programs. The difference with the VA is that the VA caters to veterans. That's the difference. And that they have more benefits. USDA, every loan has a different perks. The USDA is for people that are living in areas that have less than 30,000 civilians living in there, right? More of a, not in the city, basically. So that's the limitations there. FHA, they have different, all of the loans have different limitations and different perks for different groups. Okay, moving on. And the seller ends up paying more. No, the seller does not end up paying anything else extra. Let me see if I can bring this over here. The seller is able to pay. The seller is able to help pay. So let me see here, seller. Let me find seller. This is the VA loan. Pamphlet is smaller. Often sellers will consider paying for some or all of the discount points required by the lender in order to complete the sale. They are allowed to pay, but they don't have to pay. Like any other negotiation during a real estate transaction. As a matter of fact, the VA even limits how much the seller can pay. The seller cannot pay any amount exceeding 4% of the total purchase price of the property. So even if they want to help with more, they cannot pay more than that. But they don't have to pay anything. This is just a negotiation skill that your agent has to have to help you get a property and can request for the seller to pay. However, that you can request for any client, whether they're using the VA or a conventional loan. Because I do this with my conventional loan clients. I have clients that have perfect credit, that have a job that pays them very well, but however, they don't have $100,000 down payment to pay for a $500,000 house, and they don't have probably the savings for closing. So if they don't have the savings for closing, but they have money for down payment, but not enough for closing, then I could ask the seller. That is in a regular real estate transactions. That's what I want to make sure that I am clear when I'm saying this. VA just outlines what the seller can do, but it does not ever say that they have to do. They don't have to pay what this person says here, and the seller end up paying more. They don't have to pay more. That's not true. They could pay more, but they don't have to pay more. And you, as a seller's agent, you can advise your client what they can or cannot pay. And it's a negotiation tactic. The VA allows the seller to pay it to help the VA client. For example, this is why the VA loan exists and why it's so important that people do not sway buyers away from using their benefits. Because the military, we move so often. We move so many times. Even though the military pay for your move, minimum, you're gonna come out of pocket $2,000 or maybe more. After all is said and done, you have to up and move your family every 2 to 3 years, sometimes more times than that, sooner than that. You need to start off from scratch in a brand new location. Yeah, you might have a job, but then your spouse might not have a job, no, at least not right away. Every time your life is changing so rapidly that you don't have enough time to save for down payment for $20,000, $30,000 every time you move every 2 to 3 years. So sometimes, yes, we are going to negotiate because military have a good living. They get a good wage for a decent living, but it does not make you rich. It doesn't make us rich. It just makes us being able to pay. Now, another misconception is that because you are not paying anything for a down payment, that the loan is not going to be as good. Well, let me tell you something. This is backed by the government. And the VA backs the sale, the transaction up to 25% of the value of the property. So if you get a pre-approved client, meaning they've gone through everything in this client's finances, that means this is a more secure client than anyone else. I'm sorry. Because the VA is telling the seller, is telling the bank that whatever you lend this client, for any reason they default, that they're going to pay the bank 25% of the value of the property that they just paid, which in essence is like 25% down, which that means that the bank can turn around, resell it, and have a profit, which is why they say that the 20% down payment, so that you can come into the property with some equity built into it. So in case you don't pay, they can pay it and still make a profit. That's the whole thing of it. And the VA gives you guaranteed 25%. That's why these private institutions lend on the VA. So if you have a client that presents the VA, don't let your agent say that you're gonna pay more, because that's not necessarily true. You could if you want to. If it is, ask them what are they asking in this contract. Because yes, I have asked for buyers to pay for my client's closing costs if I know that my clients need it. In other cases, in other instances, I have clients that have up to $100,000 saved, but they don't want to pay down payment if they don't have to, because guess what? You don't pay PMI with the VA loan. So why would they take out of their cushions? Plus, what they used that money for was for negotiating if they had to pay a little bit more than the appraised value. So it gave them wiggle room to compete. For example, I have clients that wanted to live in a specific area in Miami, which is very expensive, and the houses are in a little older state. So most likely they were going to have termites, but I clearly communicated with them that could have been a possibility. Okay.
You have some termites, so there'll be termites on some of the doors and some in the attic. That's very common in this neighborhood, so it's to be expected.
And what this does is it doesn't mean that if the house had termites that the VA is not going to lend on the money on the loan. No, what it says is if you find termites, then it needs to be treated, and whoever treats it needs to provide warranty that if it comes back within a year, they would treat it again. That's all it takes. But if your agent doesn't know to advise you about this, They will tell you don't use the VA loan because they're not going to let you buy this property. Well, that's not true. As a matter of fact, we put many offers, but this area is hot spot right in the center of Miami. They wanted Coral Gables and a little bit farther away, but not too far away from it. So what we found, I found this place for them. It's really close, walking distance close to the new Inter Miami thing that they're making for them, right? The new field for the Inter Miami. So guess what? There's a lot of investors buying properties around that area, cash, to fix them up and resell them. So they're competing heavily with the investors and other people, right? They want to live in that area because it's an expensive area already established in Miami, very close to the airport, close to everything. So they're VA buyers that have money saved. So what was a strategy? And I was like, listen, if you have an agent, by the way, your agent should know how much this house is worth based on doing their due diligence, right? So they were asking $535 for this 2-bedroom house, single family home, beautiful, cute house. Older though, $535, and I was like, look, this house is not worth more than probably $510, $515, max $520. Okay, you have cash and you can offer more. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to offer $540, which is above the asking price. And then we're going to tell them, because you have the cash and they did not mind paying for that. Even if you didn't appraise if you did not appraise, they wanted to pay more. Now, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to offer $540. You still need to have an appraisal. And we're going to say we are willing to pay up to $5,000 above appraised value. It could have been 10, it could have been more. I told them, no, you're going to offer $5,000 above appraised value, not to exceed offer price. So the offer is $540, right? If it comes at $535 appraisal, then they still pay $540. If it comes at $530, then they pay $535, right? If it comes at $525, they still pay $530. This five above appraised value, not to exceed $540. So if he came to $540, they're paying $540 because then that $5,000 extra will exceed. But I already knew that the house wasn't gonna appraise for $535. But guess what? But by us presenting it in this way, the seller's agent was really scared. And I was like, listen, I'm telling you I know what my clients have, and I'm telling you that the lender knows how much money my clients have. They've already been pre-approved, yet they don't have to pay anything down. But if it does not appraise, they could pay $40,000 if that's the case, right? Okay, because she also knew that it wasn't going to appraise. But guess what? She was getting offers for investors at way lower offers than that because they were paying cash, right? And now, so I came in and I explained to her, said, do you want another investor to come into this community, just build and sell it to whoever, rather than somebody that's gonna purchase to live here? It's a person that lives in this community, a nurse and a soldier, and you're gonna tell me you're not gonna accept it because it's a VA loan. So I explained to her and I make the agent feel at ease, right? And at the same time, I'm communicating with my clients what the strategy is. So sure enough, the appraisal came and the appraisal came low. But what people don't say is that the VA loan has something that's called tie water. So they will inform both agents, hey, something came up. I know that their offer price was $540, and they give us a chance to present the comps to see if we can come to the value of what we said. I already knew. So I came up with my comp. It came to $515. So did the other agent, right? We presented those. Guess what? It came at $515. My client still said they were gonna pay $5,000 above appraised value. So they ended up paying for the house for $520,000, which was what I've already told her that they were gonna end up paying anyway. But we offered $540, which they were able to, by the way. They could have. And the agent was willing to get that because she knew that her seller wanted that. She didn't tell me this up front, but it was a fast sale. Not only that, let me tell you this also. It had termite. So, but I told my clients, it's a communication thing. Listen, this was an 86-year-old lady selling her house that she had lived in longer, more than 40 years. Even though they've done some updates, it is an older house. I explained to my clients, listen, I know this is the area that you want. We're competing heavily with everyone else. This is a very hot spot. So if you want it and the termites come back positive, which we're pretty sure it is because I can see it through the doors. When we did the first walkthrough, this 86-year-old lady, which needs this money to take out of this property to pay for her nursing home, she won't be able to pay this beforehand. And they won't loan you the money unless this is fixed. So guess what? My client went ahead and paid for the inspection. In fact, they had termite. They have to treat it. And guess what? They presented that to underwriting and they got the house. So just be wary of nice agents that start off with thank you for your service, but no. I'm sorry for doing this, making this a rant, but today, like, I'm wearing my one officer hat, my army t-shirt, because I am tired of this misinformation. Anyway, let me show the rest of this. I'm showing this because I erased their name because it's not just them. It's not their fault. But okay, so the seller ends up paying more. They also require more repairs than a conventional loan. No. They don't require any repairs. This is what happens. If an appraiser comes and they see that there are signs of that, if it's a safety issue, like if you're gonna go up the stairs and it doesn't have any railing, if you have peeling paint, if you have mold, or you have termites, they might suggest extra inspections because now it's a safety hazard and it's not a well-established dwelling, which in any inspection, actual inspections will come up. Who needs their money quickly? Okay, they say that the VA take longer. No. It shouldn't take longer now. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Yes, some institutions, big name institutions, I'm not sure if I'm able to name names, but that I've used myself because that's what we know. So some people had the market share, a bigger market share for VA loans, okay? Because they already affiliated with the military. I'm gonna name a few. People that have the name like veterans in front of them, or at the name of a branch, or that are affiliated. I'm going to say it. USA, Navy Federal Credit Union, Veterans United, anything like that already do a big volume. For some reason, I don't know if they take us for granted, they like to take 45 days. However, if you go with any other lender that specializes in the VA, you don't have to specialize in the VA loan, but you want somebody that specializes or that do at least a lot of volume with VA loans, because they will know all the nuances and they're not gonna go with what people are saying like this. Because this is what happened. This person made this comment and 6 people had this, I guess they felt the same way, right? They're agreeing with her. So these are 6 agents, and these are only the ones that agree or that got that post. But some people agree, they don't even say anything because they don't want to be in that bold in there, but they agree with them. They read this and they know nothing about the VA loan or about the military, and they were gonna take this as a truth because they read it on the internet. And trust me, we're just people. People are too lazy to go out and do their own research. That's why you need somebody that specializes. So if you don't want a lender to go by hear what she says. So that's the only reason I say that, because I have loans, VA loans that have closed in 30 days. Or even in less than that, especially when you have a loan officer or a loan person that underwrites your clients prior to even making an offer. So the people that I like to partner with not only pre-approve you, but they pre-approve you and go to underwriting to make sure that once you make that offer, that you're gonna be able to get that house. So giving a blanket statement like this one, let me share again. A blanket statement like this, they take much longer to close for someone who needs their money quickly. This is not true. The VA seems to not care that the rules not only protect the vet, but also hurts them. No, you hurt them. You heard them by spreading this, that is harder, that is this, that is that. I've closed loans, VA loans, right here in Miami. That was one of the fastest growing, appreciating cities in terms of property values in the past 3 years. And I still was able to close VA loans. They closed fast. What happened is that people put this stigma and they advise their sellers against accepting VA loans, which is why I specialize in helping the military get their offers accepted. Because let me tell you, if you're dealing with an agent and they say, oh my God, thank you for your service, I know you're gonna use your VA loan, but I'm gonna tell you, is there any way do you think you want to apply for the conventional loan or anything? Run, because they're trying to make you not use your entitlement. Just run. Now, I'm not gonna say that in every case the VA is better, even though I think it's in every case better. I don't know, just run. You don't have to stick with an agent for the first time. You can interview agents. Obviously, once you decide who you're going to work with, then you will stick with that. But this is how you do it. You interview 1, 2, 3 agents. If you feel comfortable, you can ask your questions. How many VA loans have you closed? And even if they haven't closed any VA loans, did you feel comfortable working with the VA loan program? And would you be able to really have the fiduciary duty that I deserve for you to go out and fight for my entitlement? After you interview them, don't go and ask them to show you houses and do all kinds of stuff before you even know if this person is going to fight for you. Interview them, and then after you interview them and you decide you're gonna work with them, then work with them, okay? But if you see them trying to sway you away without giving you any real explanation, I'm telling you right now, feel free. I'm giving you the freedom to fire them. You can just fire them, okay? Okay. So I think this is all for today. I don't want to go in for any more longer. I think I've already ranted enough. Oh my God, this have taken a long time. If you want me to talk about more stuff like this, let me know, because guys, I come across this all the time. But this one really bothered me. I don't know why. Maybe because I was just reading, and when I heard a thank you for your service, I already knew what was coming after that. And I was just like, oh my God, just save it. Just save it. Anyway, guys, this is Betty Gonzalez, your host here in Doral Homes Real Estate Talks. I come live every Thursday at 9 a.m. I either bring a host or I talk about what's going on here in the community. You're welcome if you're a business owner right here in Doral. If you are a professional of any kind, and if you want to talk about veterans, whatever topic you want to talk, I know I said it's Doral Homes Real Estate Talks, but we can talk about everything, because if you're a business owner, you are operating on the real estate, whether you're listing it or buying it. And because the community is growing, that's why your business is there. So anything related to any businesses, you are welcome to come. Just contact me in the description. You can find my information in any of the social medias. Go follow me on YouTube or on Instagram. And please tune in. And if you have any questions or you would like me to cover any specific topics, just let me know in the comments and I'll be glad to include it in my upcoming real estate talks and this podcast. Again, thank you for coming and be part of this community. This is Betty Gonzalez. See you next Thursday right here at 9 o'clock on my Facebook Live. Take care, guys. Bye.
One of the main reasons why I deployed was because of the VA home loan and building a better future for me and Mari V, and the benefits that comes with it. The 0 down and 0 PMI was a no-brainer for me, and here we are now, closing on our house, $500,000, which seems crazy, but we didn't put no money down, and 0 PMI, which is a big thing, so we get to keep all that cash in our pocket. What do you think about that?
I knew nothing about it beforehand other than no money down, so everything that I've learned thus far in the process has been super clutch, and I totally agree. Keep the money in our pockets.
I mean, we were a little bit unexperienced in the beginning of the process, and we really didn't know what we were doing, so we asked you a ton of questions. You took us to a bunch of showings, a bunch of houses. You never gave up on us. You explained everything in detail.
You also knew what the VA would approve and would not approve when we went to go see places. So you would ask, oh, was this an illegal addition? Did this have permits? So like you're ahead of the game knowing when we left the house if we were able to put an offer or if we were not.